It starts like any drive. Familiar road, familiar view. In a land that defies ordinary, so does the drive.
Discover a new kind of space with the all-new Skoda Kodiaq. Skoda.
Welcome to Tarmac Life. We're here for the fun toys, cars, SUVs, utes, flights, hotels, because the journey matters too, and even the odd motorbike when we feel like living dangerously. Epic drives and unforgettable experiences, all served up with plenty of banter and zero boring nonsense.
On tonight's show, we drive Skoda's new Kodiaq, a Kiwi family favorite. Dave conquers Africa in the Ford Everest. Harry gives us a physics lesson on Honda's eHEV powertrain. And the original hot hatch has returned. It's the Mark 8.5 Volkswagen Golf GTI.
Kia ora and thanks for joining us. First of all, just got to say what an amazing response we got for last week's episode. Our socials went off. Comments good, bad, indifferent. It was just great, so keep them coming.
That's right, and considering how bad the weather has been here in Auckland this week, our friends here at the Wrap Shop have invited us indoors. And yes, we will be talking about car wrapping in a future episode, so stay tuned.
That aside though, Skoda have just told us that a new Kodiaq RS is on its way here. But in the meantime, Dave and I took the current second generation car for a drive. Roll the tape.
Now to me, the Skoda Kodiaq was the sort of beginning of the new phase or the new era of Skoda. But as it turns out, it wasn't the first seven-seater and it wasn't the first SUV. The first SUV was basically the Trekker in 1966, which was actually developed here in New Zealand, or built here in New Zealand. And the first seven-seater was in 1934, which was basically the 604. Now we're into the second generation and it has been improved. It's now a little bit longer, 61 millimeters longer, although it keeps the same wheelbase. It's also shorter, which I know about short. It's about 1.68 meters. Looking around the front here, they've gone with this sort of new modern solid or husky design. So what they've got is they've still got the Skoda sort of, I think, a wing look around here. And I think this grille could actually be, you can option it to be illuminated as well. The bonnet itself has got this lovely inverted power dome in it. It's got the Skoda sign, or should I say Skoda. You'll notice there's no fog lights, and that's because it's all to do with these matrix DRLs that are all very smart and very clever and have around about 50% more LEDs going on. We have 19-inch wheels here that really stand out. As you open the doors, look at these little door protectors that come out. Are great for the kids that just throw open the doors and don't bang into something else. Kicker tailgate opens up to around about 340 litres of boot space with all the seats up, and actually with it all down roughly just over 2,000 litres. Right now, New Zealand are bringing in three variants of the Kodiaq. So you have two that are powered by petrol, which is basically a two-wheel front-wheel drive, 110 kilowatts of power, or this one, which is a 2-litre turbo diesel mated to a 7-speed DSG. Together, that gives you 142 kilowatts of power and 400 newton meters of torque. And in terms of efficiency, it's around about 6.8 litres per 100 kilometers.
I can't hold a candle to what Skoda have done in the way of what they've done to tidy up this interior, and not just that, also their brand image, their logo, their font, everything has been rejigged and essentially reworked for a new digital age. And that sort of mindset is very much evident with the interior of the car. The way the dashboard is laid out, the way the charging ports are put in places where you really can use them. So for example, there's one hidden up here behind the mirror for your dash cam. There's two down the middle there for 2 phones, and plus 2 wireless chargers as well. Not to mention the other Simply Clever bits. They've given you this little roll here which has a cloth which you can use to clean the screen there. We've got a cup holder here which doubles up into 2 sets of cup holders. You've got generous storage down the middle there. And just as a general rule, the interior is really nicely laid out. The interior is both a mix of simplicity as well as a certain level of technology too, but in a way that's so uniquely Skoda. Most of the things, the functions of the car rather, are controlled by this 13-inch infotainment screen. To note, this is the home screen, but it just shows you a little snapshot of what functionality is available. There is plenty more though, and one I particularly like is the way that you have 2 different shortcut bars. So the one at the top has more functions to do with your car, and the one at the bottom has more to do with your connectivity and your technological interaction, if you like, with the screen. So rather than tidy all of this up and move all these functions into the screen, they've retained the physical air conditioning controls and volume controls, but what they've done is make each one multi-purpose. So if you push a dial there, you can have it either as a seat heater or the air conditioning control for this side. Push the one in the middle and it does 4 different things. So it does have your air quality, your audio volume level, fan speed, and then of course the direction of your air conditioning as well. So a lot going on in this central space here, but in a way that's both using technology as well as some more traditional car design features as well. Very well done.
So the all-new Kodiaq. Now, normally we would be trying to sort of zoom away and show you what the 0 to 100 is, and I'd be trying to scare Matthew and all that sort of stuff. But it's a family wagon, so actually the family thing scares him. So this is now just a nice, lovely pull away, and it's not bad for a diesel. It pulls away pretty quickly, and moreover is just how it sits on the road.
I don't know, family SUVs don't make their tires squeal, at least not since this isn't the RS version.
True.
But that 4x4 system gives the Kodiaq really good amounts of grip when you are going around something like that. And I think the fact that Skoda have kept that dual clutch transmission in its 7-speed format allows you to keep that power on tap. So you never really feel like you're wanting more. It's always in the right gear. There's always enough power there.
And also so much torque. 400 newton meters of torque is more than ample for a family of 7. And while we're talking about space in the back, show you what the space is there, the headroom. What do you think?
I was quite impressed actually with the 3rd row of seats. There's a good amount of knee room there.
And then the 2nd row is also got even more space. It's an entertainment sort of dream back there.
That's correct. While the 3rd row has to give up a few of the Skoda Simply Clever bit, the 2nd row can be truly Skoda. So you have on top of the tunnel, they've put all these different organizer bits and pieces for your drinks. You've got these holders in the back of the headrest as well for your devices to keep the kids entertained. And overall, it is quite spacious at the back there.
The visibility all around is really good, apart from slightly compromised if you do have more people in the back. Big windscreen. Then there's the Simply Clever stuff.
They've done a really good job all around, I think, with this car.
It feels like a good family, solid family SUV, and that's what it should be.
Yeah, that's really cool, and a really interesting direction that Skoda is following with the new Kodiaq.
Yeah, this Generation 2 Kodiaq really is an improvement on an SUV that was already very, very good. I mean, to me, it really put Skoda on the map in New Zealand. It was a cost-effective family SUV that, takes 7 people. It's great.
Speaking of putting on the map, after the break, Dave takes a trip over to my childhood home. He's in the Everest in Africa.
Okay, everyone, for homework tonight, we're going to dream about what the future looks like.
Dreams can come true. The all-new, fully electric Honda EN1 is here.
all-new Audi Q5 era has begun. Experience bold new looks, future-ready technology, exhilarating performance, and complete flexibility. The all-new Audi Q5 range is here.
Today we're at the Kapama Resort in Kruger National Park, South Africa, actually somewhere around about there. And we're on a Ford Everest adventure where we're going to take the very capable Everest on a big adventure, climbing hills, forging streams, and just getting at one with nature. This one is going to be a real biggie. Established in 1986 by the late Johan Rood, Kapama Private Game Reserve is a place away from time. Stretching across 13,000 hectares of African wilderness, it's a sanctuary of magnificent beauty and abundant wildlife. It's one of South Africa's most prestigious wildlife destinations and home to the Big Five: lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo and rhino. And we got to see them all. Time to get serious with an off-road drive along the Mariepskop mountain pass. The pass starts as a gravel road alongside the southern bank of the Motlassie River. I know I've said that wrong. And from there on in, it's north, baby. At 1945 meters above sea level, the Mariepskop is the highest mountain peak in the eastern Drakensberg escarpment. The mountain itself has a unique biodiversity about it, with incredible plant, animal and bird life. But it's the view from the top that's truly breathtaking. So there you have it. What an amazing Ford Everest experience. It really has shown its worth in the wilds of South Africa. It's got a heart of a lion. It's got the bigger trunk than an elephant. It's as elegant as a giraffe and climbs hills and mountains like a mountain goat, or actually a mountain lion even for that. It is a monstrous machine, and it really has just taken good care of us in all the extreme weather and terrains that we've been putting it through. If you're looking for an SUV that can take your kids to school and then take you on an adventure afterwards, this is the one.
That was a really cool video with some beautiful vistas, but I don't think that I learned too much about the Everest.
I mean, did you just show that film to kind of flex your holiday on us?
Yeah, it was great to be away from you people, and also, look, it was a bit self-indulgent, I agree. But the thing is that the Everest is just so good. I felt like a passenger on most of it anyway. You push buttons, sit back, relax, all of that scenery, all of those animals, and I was just in an air-conditioned SUV. It was fantastic.
On tonight's episode of Tarmac Torque, we are actually addressing comments that we have had in our previous episode about the Civic. And it is because of Honda's decision to put E and HEV in the name of the new Civic. So tonight we are going to dispel that myth, and who better than Honda themselves to talk more about it.
The all-new Honda Civic is a self-charging full hybrid, which means it can run on electricity alone. Yet, there is no need to plug it in. The brains behind eHEV technology is our intelligent multi-mode drive system. This marries a powerful petrol engine that supplies the self-charging part with high-tech drive motors that generate the electricity. The result is a refined and responsive full hybrid powertrain that provides the optimal mix of driving performance and fuel economy. This advanced technology seamlessly alternates between 3 drive modes: electric, hybrid and engine drive. As a self-charging full hybrid, the new Civic has high economy, low emissions and the ability to run entirely on electricity, providing a driving experience that is superior to a mild hybrid. In electric drive, it uses silent, clean electric power sourced directly from its EV battery. Pressing the accelerator unleashes the electric power for instantaneous and rapid acceleration. According to the car's speed and the type of journey, electric drive and hybrid drive will usually share the task of powering the car. In hybrid drive, the petrol engine provides the energy to the electric drive motors and for replenishing the EV battery. The switchover between drive modes is seamless and is determined by the iMMD technology. The third mode, engine drive, directly powers the new Civic during sustained, high-speed driving on a fast road. And regenerative braking converts otherwise wasted energy into electricity and stores it in the battery, greatly assisting the new Civic eHEV's self-charging capabilities.
I'm going to say thank you to our textbook geek for that explanation, and of course I finally learned that the engine in fact does drive the wheels as well as the battery and power the hybrid system.
Yeah, it did clear that up, but it also opens up another can of worms. So, what about a BEV, a PHEV, an FCEV, an RSVP? I mean, there's so many different powertrains out there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so that's it. We have the topics for all the future Tarmac Talk segments, because we will absolutely be covering this, but not today. Because after the break, these two here take the Mark 8.5 GTI to see if Volkswagen have righted some of their wrongs.
Choose what brings you joy. Choose adventure. Choose something extra. Choose to live large, even when driving small. Choose to roar. Choose to lead the charge by going electric, or the best of both worlds with a plug-in hybrid. Choose to connect while disconnecting with the world around you. Life's a joy when you live it on your own terms. What will you choose? The BMW X Range.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. You would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Now, 1974 was a big year. President Nixon was resigned because of the Watergate scandal. The Germans won the soccer or football World Cup, and Ali and Foreman were having a little bit of a fumble or rumble in the jungle. So there was lots going on. But the other big thing was the Golf was released. So 1974, 50 years ago. And 50 years later, now we've got the 8.5 version of it. So kind of come out at exactly the right time. I would say serendipitous. What's happening with this 8.5 facelift model is the fact of, round the front here, we have a big mark of this Volkswagen sign here. So this actually illuminates. The front here does illuminate as well, and the lights themselves are now narrower and more squinty, but does still give you plenty of light out the front. And also the wheels here, they're called Queenstown wheels, and they are 19 inches with incredibly thin rubber. In fairness, the rear is just the same as the last one in terms of shape, style, and all that sort of stuff. So it does still have the Volkswagen badge that opens up the trunk, and also twin exhaust, which will lead to the engine. The only thing that's different is the lights, or the rear lights, and they're so subtle that only a Wookiee would recognize what's different with them. Anyway, let's look under the bonnet. What we have here is a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine mated to a 7-speed DCT. Together it gives you 195 kilowatts of power and 370 newton meters of torque. And it does all go down to those front two wheels via, I think, the suspensions are DCC.
Now, not only is this the Mark 8.5 Golf GTI, but our one comes in spec'd with the touring package as well on top of it. So what that brings is seat heating and ventilation for the front two seats. You do get electronic adjustment for the driver as well as lumbar adjustment. It brings a head-up display. There's also this opening glass sunroof. You also get a Harman Kardon premium audio system as well as part of that. Not to mention the Vienna leather seats themselves. But because this is a Mark 8.5 Golf GTI, it doesn't need red outlines and things there. Instead, you have 30 different options for your ambient lighting. So you can select the red to go with that GTI theme. And I think this Mark 8.5 is gaining some of that lost ground back from the Mark 8, which really pleases me as a former Golf GTI owner. Of course, I had to drop that in there. In the middle, Volkswagen have added a 12.9-inch infotainment screen, which is their new sort of Discover Media system. You've got these slide controls now, while still there, are actually lit up. So at night, you can see what you're doing. Now, the screen in front of us, Dave has had set up in a more traditional look. So you've got the twin gauges and you've got your maps in the background there. But it does show you so much, and impressively, despite everything, he's been averaging 7.5 liters per 100 Ks, which is pretty amazing. The steering wheel itself, of course, a really nice leather-wrapped unit in signature GTI style, has got red stitching. You've got those chunky thumb grips, a flat bottom, and the GTI badge down the bottom as well, just to remind you of what sort of legacy you've got in your hands here. I think the last time I reviewed a Golf GTI, I ended up saying those three words like more than 50 times.
If you took a shot for each time he said it, you would be absolutely bluted. But anyway.
There's something that reminds me of the GTIs of old with this new car, with the Mark 8.5. Something that I felt was missing with the Mark 8. There is almost the character, the sense of fun, that seems to have come back with this car. It feels lively to drive. The steering is great. So far nothing but good things to say about it.
The suspension or the chassis is so strong that if you throw it into corners, it will kick its rear tyre up and just really wants to play hard. And that's got to be a good thing for a GTI. It is. I just want to point out that I was a GTI owner back in the actually Mark IIs or Mark III ages. So if any of you can remember those.
For me, a bit more recent, I owned a Mark VI. But again, that just draws exactly what's so important about this badge, right? As Dave and I grew up in very different eras and countries as well. But
as you pointed out, I've seen the whole of them. all 8.5s come out. Shut up, you.
But despite that, we have a car and a nameplate that draws us together, and I think safe to say for both of us, and even Harry, who isn't here today, invokes fond memories of youth, of driving fun, of enjoyment, all of those things. It's a universal sports car in a way. Yes, I'm in the sport mode right now. Suspension is as firm as it can be, all of that stuff, but you can tone everything down and take this car to work in everyday traffic, and it still feels just as special in a way.
You can, but I still think that in comfort mode it's still got quite a firm chassis.
It's not just the sportiness and the driving feel, I think, that the GTI has always been so good at, but it's also been the little things on the inside, the comfort, the audio quality, the fit and finish. Again, this Mark 8.5 does well when you rank all of those things. I mean, Dave and I are enjoying these comfortable Vienna leather seats. We quite like the red stitching and the red highlights around. It gives it a sporty flair that a car like this deserves, I think.
But the hell with that. It's just about driving fast and enjoying it. What's the point in having a GTI if you're going to drive it slowly? And here's some corners, so let's just have a little bit of fun. When it does, it drops the gears down. It does rev match as far as it goes. And it just corner and grips so nicely that honestly, it's something that takes me back to my youth, and that was a long time ago.
8.5 Golf generations ago.
Oh, damn, I'm so mad I missed on it. I'm a big fan of the Golf. Reminds me of my Mark 6R.
Funnily enough, I had a Mark 6 Golf too, a GTI. But I've got to say, even more special than that is the fact that we have somebody here who has seen all generations of the Golf.
All right, I get it, I'm old. But I also had a Mark III GTI 16 valve. And it's actually quite interesting that all three of us, it's the only car all three of us have owned, and it is such a great hatchback. Anyway, to wrap things up for the show, we've had the Skoda Kodiaq, which is a great family favorite. I was in Africa away from these two people, which was great. We've also learned a lot more about the EHEV system, and also we've discussed the Golf. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Next week, we're going to have a lot more fun and frivolity, so join us then. See ya.
Okay, there's a big gap between Dave and Matt.
I like it that way.
Let's keep it like this. You see, that's the alternative.
It's rolling. You need to talk.
Yeah, I was working on the.
Third time's better.
I feel like I have to do that. You want me to sit like we're on the cover of a Backstreet Boys album?
Look at you. Right. That's wishful thinking at its best.
Do you want it that way or this way?
Oh my God.
And actually put the Skoda brand, but again on my... Start again. I was babbling. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
That's usually my job.
Yeah, exactly.
He's with the Everest in Ford Africa.
Ford Africa.
Can we get like Lefo to stand behind us with his hoodie? Like a...
Just standing there.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of maps, next up...
And Harry's just going to be sitting there?
Like in... the intro to the first episode, Harry is standing there with like such an awkward like look on his face.
The Ford Africa?
Yeah, the Ford Africa, yeah. My favorite model actually,
Okay, everyone, for homework tonight, we're going to dream about what the future looks like.
Dreams can come true. The all-new, fully electric Honda EN1 is here.
The new Hurricane Ram 1500 delivers the unexpected in pickup trucks. Unexpected luxury and unexpected power. The new Hurricane-powered Ram 1500 is unrivaled. Ram. It starts like any drive. Familiar road. Familiar view. In a land that defies ordinary. so does the drive.